Okay, this is my week 6 capstone project for the Game of War. This was a lot of tears, a lot of bashing my head against my keyboard, but looking at it now, it seems crazy that it was this hard to write, but this was rough. So while I was going through this, I tried to just break it down into pieces and ended up writing a lot of functions. It started working and then I kept writing it like that and didn't write it using object-oriented programming. I talked to Chris about it and he said that this is still a valid way of writing it. It did concern me a little bit because when I tried to convert it into object-oriented programming, I was really struggling with it. Um, so I left it as functions, but you'll see over here in my um folders and files, I do have like some object-oriented programming that I was trying to convert it to. I wasn't done. I was kind of running out of time. But so this is still a work in progress. I just wanted to explain why I have these extra files here. So this was me working on that. So this isn't really my official submission here. It's this file here. So I have my Game of War. It does run, which I'm very proud of. Let me see. So I have it here. So what I ended up getting was I created a new deck by combining the values of the cards and the suits of the cards. I didn't quite understand how to make Jack, Queen, King, all of those have a value. So I gave them numerical values. Um, I do plan to go back and correct that, but I was running out of time and it works for now, so I felt comfortable submitting it. So I create a new deck. Then I needed to shuffle that deck, so I called that game deck. And I use this function down here, the shuffle deck, where I'm taking an element out of the array and then replacing it at a random point in the array and continuing to do that till I've gone through all of them. Then I go to player 1 and player 2 deck. So I then split that array into two different decks so that my two players could play against each other. So I do that down here using the slice method. So then I come down here and I say let the game begin, and then I have each element in each player's array get compared to each other, and then whichever player had the element with a higher value gets awarded a point. Then I assign that point to their score, which I have here, and then I have the player score displayed so that it keeps track of it throughout the game. So it'll say which player wins and what that player's score is. So we move through here. This round, oh, we do have an instance of a tie right there. So if there's a tie, nobody gets a point. Then when it's finished, it gives me the total of each player's score and then tells me who wins. Something I did learn about during office hours, but that was just right before this, is Chris was saying that the way I'm keeping track of the score and comparing the two players' elements is kind of separate from the rest of my code. He was saying that it would be better if I could kind of ingratiate this code into the rest of my code so that when we're comparing the two cards and seeing a winner, we'll see why that's happening, where right now it's just kind of spitting this out. So, like I said, I'm keeping this open. I want to continue to develop this as I get better and see what I can build from it, but this meets the requirements for the assignment for right now, but it is something I want to continue to work on. So I just wanted to bring that up, that I do know that I could have this part of my code written a little bit better, but it does work. So then I have my tests up here. I put my create deck function into a different file. It is the same as right here, but I wanted to, as I was writing my test, just be able to reference just this and kind of separate it in my head. So I have my code to be tested in a different file. Then I have my tests HTML file here, and then this is the actual test. So this is testing that the function create deck is concatenating the suit and string arrays and then pushing that array into a new deck array. So I tested that here and it does run right here, which I am very, very proud of. I know it is a small test, but it's running. This took me a while. This was figuring out how to run tests was quite the challenge. So that is the basics of the code that I've written in here. And yeah, I have comments here for everything. I did leave comments down here. This was just kind of my working comments that I both this block here and up here was just things that I had written for myself as I was getting lost while I was writing code. I was kind of just talking to myself here saying, okay, this is what I need to do next. I left that since the point of the code is to see the thought process behind, or I'm sorry, the point of the comments is to see the thought process behind the code that I wrote. So I left this in here just to help explain a little bit more. I don't know what this is, not gonna lie. I don't know. I ran something and it popped up and I was too afraid to change it. But yeah, that's my code. Now I just have to remember how to stop recording. Okay. All right, thanks.